Good afternoon. My name is Monique Copeland, and today we will discuss iPads in early childhood classrooms. What you can expect this presentation to cover is, are iPads in pre-kindergarten classrooms useful? Are they age appropriate? We're going to determine this by looking at brain research, age appropriate applications, advantages of iPad use, and lastly, purchasing options. Are iPads appropriate? Well, according to Piaget's theory, pre-kindergarten students are at the pre-operational stage. At this stage, they're symbolic thinkers, and they use their imagination and intuition to relate to information. So, at this stage, an iPad will be very useful in the sense that it shows visual aids, it's highly interactive, and gives immediate feedback, which can really help children deepen their understanding of any skill or concept being learned. Here are a few things you need to consider when trying to determine if iPads are indeed developmentally appropriate. As a teacher, it's important, or a parent, it's important for you to consider the children's individual needs, their social needs, and the cultural context of the iPad applications you're using. The role of a teacher or child interactions or play in the daily curriculum cannot be replaced with using iPads. Instead, it should be integrated into the curriculum and being used as a support or visual support or kind of like a third teacher in the room. It's important that you model computer etiquette, having solid routines about how we use the iPads, when we use them, and how we hold them, and to make sure that we maintain the iPad as a tool. Device accessories are necessary, such as the one pictured here. This device, not only is it sturdy and durable, it also allows the iPad to sit up so that children can use it appropriately. Lastly, it's important that all children are provided an opportunity to access or use the iPad. iPads should not be used as a reward. Instead, children should be able to use it based on their academic need, and that can be done on any level. Again, it should not be used as a reward. Instead, it should be a support system for children's learning. Now that we're talking about the iPad uses, let's look at how we can choose good iPad apps. Now, I know the word good is subjective, so let's look at some criteria. One of the most important things for me when I'm looking for good iPad applications is whether or not the application is open-ended. And what I mean by open-ended, does it ask children to do rote skills, or does it allow them to approach those rote concepts with an open-ended material or provocation to allow kids to navigate their own understanding, analyze and reason, or do some comparing and contrasting with letters and sounds, for example. Also, does it allow the children to explore and create at their own pace? And does the content align with lesson objectives or academic grade level standards? And in this case, in pre-kindergarten across the nation, you could use the early learning standards to determine this, or whatever your school-based standards are. Now, here are a couple of resources to help you that you can scan through to determine some iPad applications that mostly are free to use in your classroom. A good website to go to is www.earlychildhoodeducationdegrees.com. On this site, it has 30 iPad applications that fall into social emotional development, reading comprehension, mathematics, and some unit theme areas. For social emotional development, one of the iPad applications that I reviewed, that it seems like it would be a great app to use in your classroom because it's very user friendly and it breaks down those complex social emotional concepts such as being friendly, how to share, tolerance. The app is called Love the App. And for reading comprehension, they also listed on the 30 iPad apps for early childhood a reading comprehension app called Story Dice. That could be definitely a great way to recall important details in the story and for children to actually make meaning and express their comprehension or understanding of specific elements of the story. How can this be integrated? Now, earlier we talked about the importance of having routines around technology use in the classroom, specifically in early childhood. It provides consistency and a way to promote equity across the classroom. Mostly in pre-kindergarten, I've seen iPads used in centers. And centers is a component of the day where children have several different areas around the classroom where children can move throughout each station to encounter learning through a play-based learning style. So I've posted here a chart that could be used to help you rotate children so kids know where they can go and when iPads is open, and so for you to be able to efficiently monitor whether or not kids have been there or not. Use during a whole group lesson to provide support. You could use the iPad, maybe doing like a read aloud whole group session, to actually show them the print copy of the book and then also a digital copy and compare and contrast how pages are turned, which is print concepts. You could also look at the similarities between the book copy and a digital copy. It's just a great way for kids to see that iPads can be used for not just for enjoyment and playing games, but also for reading. What are the advantages of using an iPad? Well, it creates digital literacy. When you're using the iPads in the classroom, it allows students to encompass both technology and media literacy and gives them an opportunity to critically think about the use of technology and media, and it develops students as strong digital citizens, such as being the appropriate use of the iPads, being responsible, and all of the ethics that goes around being able to actively engage on technology. Now, you may be thinking, well, how could I afford this at my school? Well, if your school doesn't already have one-to-one laptops or one-to-one technology in your classroom, again, we mentioned earlier that you could start off by purchasing 4 to 6 iPads in your classroom and using them in a center or in a small group. Typically, Apple has a Apple Store for Education institution where they allow discounted prices for iPad use and accessories that go along with it. The last time I checked, it was around $299, $300 per iPad. In terms of how could this be paid for, there are several different funding organizations that you can do a grant for to get iPads in your school or in your classroom. DonorsChoose is one of the easiest grant options to start off with, especially if you've never wrote a grant before. Pretty easy. So you can reach DonorsChoose at donorschoose.org. Well, it's been wonderful talking to you guys about iPad uses. I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are about using technology in pre-kindergarten classrooms, specifically iPads.